Where are you off to, David?
Oh, I've got an appointment.
But we have a guest coming over for the podcast. I thought you insisted on being around for visitors.
I do, but it's a tattoo appointment. It's no easy task to reschedule.
You have tattoos?
Dude, you're not leaving without showing us.
I'd really rather not.
Please.
Fine. But I have to preface, I got this when I was young and stupid.
Oh my god. You have a tiny cock!
Team Pro Dread.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Are We On Air? The podcast where we talk about everything and anything. And the fun thing about this podcast is that this is on the internet forever. So whatever we say on here will exist forever. Much like the little drawings that will be etched into our skin forever.
Ooh.
What? Tag away.
That can happen?
Yeah. Because today we're talking about tattoos.
What? Wait a second. Dude, I don't know if you know this, but I do that shit for a living.
What?
Who are you?
Alright, so my name is Jovi, or Yoro, whichever one you prefer. I use the tag Yorokobi tattoos on all my social media. Yeah. And I make tattoos for a living. I make really fun, bright pictures of characters and guys.
That sounds stupid.
That's dumb as hell.
I don't know, man.
Yeah, I love tattoos. I don't have any tattoos though.
Your voice sounds really familiar, though. I feel like you've gotten one of my dumb pictures before, but I don't know.
Maybe just one.
Maybe I also have just one.
Or like 3 or 4.
Or like, wait.
Like 7 of them.
I think it is 7. I think you're right.
The one on your thigh counts as like 10. That shit big.
That's 1 billion.
We're getting ahead of ourselves. We gotta do a tattoo tour. But who are you, host woman?
Oh yeah. You already know us. My name is Aaron or Tangy. Call me other. I don't care. And I have some friends with me today.
I'm friends. I'm Leaf, MossKnight. I'm always here. Pronouns are she, her. And please don't mind the technical issues we have where whenever I speak, Yoro speaks. This is a technical and circumstantial dilemma. So just get used to it and pretend that Yoro and I are a hive mind.
We just, we didn't communicate the whole, how are we gonna make this work? And we have, those really shitty Razer headphones that you get from Best Buy for, 50 bones? That's my microphone. That's what you're wearing?
I'm wearing right now.
I mean,
the RGB.
Yeah. Those really great headphones, actually, I meant to say. Anyway.
They're really good, yeah.
Yeah. No, I was like, oh, fuck, I don't want to be that guy to have, the shitty microphone, so I'm over here now.
Yeah, that would be stupid.
The good thing we're the only ones that are conjoined coming from the same audio source.
That's true. Why did we all light up?
Who are you?
Who are you guys? What the heck?
What the heck? Well, I'm Elledritch. She, her. Yeah, I'm also conjoined to with the hip with this one.
Yeah. I'm Mel. They, them. It's good to be here. I'm ready to talk about tattoos.
Yeah.
Hey, yeah, we all got some tattoos. Except maybe we don't. I don't remember.
I don't have tattoos.
Okay, that's what I thought. Okay, most of us have tattoos. Anyways, yeah, we got our very special guest, Jovi, here to join us, who has done a many tattoo for us and for friend.
This is just me.
That's you.
Put a hand if you've got
We got a lot of to talk about. What are we starting with? Lee?
I don't know. What do you want to know? I do this all the time. So, this is just, normal shit for me. So, what do people want to know?
I mean, I'm interested in knowing, because I don't have any tattoos. But, I don't know. I want to know a bit more about them because I've been thinking about it quite heavily. And also, your art is cool, so...
Thank you.
Yeah, no. I just want to know the basics, personally.
I mean, like, it's kind of like a vague question, because it's like, the basics as in, like, how to go about getting a tattoo, the basics on, like, how that shit work, because, like, there's science involved, and, like, I
How that shit work? I want to hear the science behind it.
Alright. Okay, so, like, you're getting a tattoo, right? And, like,
Yeah.
You know, you're thinking, like, what do I gotta do, first of all, to get prepared for this tattoo? And, like, if you ever forget what I'm telling you, you ask Erin, because she comes perfect, well hydrated, clean, like, it's perfect.
What the heck?
Yeah, you'll clean about it. Now, the way you kind of have to go about it is, like, staying hydrated and exfoliating is, like, really key for, like, helping the tattoo kind of, like, go in, because the way the tattooing works is, like, yes, I'm putting a needle to your skin, but, like, your skin is actually kind of, like, elasticing, like, it's sucking the ink in as it's also driving in. So, like, if you come in not hydrated, or, like, you know, your skin's maybe super dry and a little bit crusty, like, it's not gonna go in as nice. So by, like, prepping your body by being, like, hydrated and stuff, like, it makes the tattoo go a lot smoother, a lot faster. Like, your healing time is gonna be, like, relatively shortened. I don't know, like, Erin, have you ever had any issues with, like, your healing tattoos?
Not really, to be honest. I don't know why my tattoos heal like crazy fast, and it's wild. I think when I got my Sanji tattoo, which is my giant thigh one, it was done the peely stage by like day 4, I think. It was crazy, but I know like my mom gets tattoos a lot, and hers take forever to heal, so it's very weird, but.
But, like, do you know if, like, your mom goes through the steps of, like, drinking a butt ton of water and, like, exfoliating the skin and, like, adding moisturizer and stuff, like?
Probably not, but...
You love her anyway.
But no, that's, like, a big thing that, like, I tell people, because they're like, what do I do? Like, obviously, you know, the basics of, like, eat a big meal and make sure your sugars are, like, at a good level, but, like, adding that extra bit of moisture, like, it just really helps kind of encourage the ink to settle where it needs to settle and to go into the skin nicely. Because, like, I tattoo people who, like, you know, they're chronic smokers, they're chronic tanners, and they come in and, like, their skin is like tissue paper. And it's just like, I know this shit's not gonna heal as great as it could because they didn't do those, like, steps ahead of time. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Okay, yeah, no, that makes sense.
That's cool. I didn't know. I've always wondered how it actually works, and the way you described how, like, the skin is, like, both being stabbed but also sucking the ink, that actually really helps me visualize it, because you've literally done it to my arm, and, like, I can feel it happening and I can see it happening, but I never understood how it was happening, so that's pretty cool.
It's a weird, like, a lot of, like, science and thought goes to it, because I know, like, a lot of people are like, oh, you do it for hours and hours, like, you must get bored, you must autopilot, and it's just like, honestly, like, sometimes depending on the area of the skin, like, going from, like, 1 inch to an inch to an inch, like, I've got to do something different to each area of skin, you know what I mean? Like, maybe I lift my hand a little higher, maybe I move my hand a little faster, because it's like I'm moving to different spaces on your skin, and it's like it's a constant kind of, like, calculation of how do I do this without, like, blowing out or fucking overworking and, you know, that kind of shit.
Okay.
Yeah. What would you say, from your experience, is the best spot to tattoo?
Kind of depends. Like, I'm honestly a sucker for legs. Like, legs are just, like, they just got a nice shape, you know what I mean? And, like, it's really easy to kind of, like, you know, say you want a portrait, it's like, all right, are we doing the front of the thigh or, like, the side of the thigh? Because, like, that also can kind of dictate the composition of the piece. And it's just, like, I don't know, I like designing pieces for legs because there's just such a natural flow.
That's fair.
Legs for days, all day.
Legs for days.
Which is, it's so funny because Evie and I, may they rest in peace, are, like, complete opposites. Because every time, like, the time that we got ours in the same spot, which was the ankle, they were in, like, agony, and I was like, this is chill. But I fucking hate getting my arms done.
Well, I'm in the
so
same boat.
bad.
I'm in the same boat. Like,
it's ass.
I have my throat tattooed. I have my ass cheeks tattooed. Like, I have a whole fucking back piece. And, did I say my neck? I, like, just broke for
You said
a
your
second.
throat.
Okay, I got my throat
Yeah.
tattoo, and I got my ass cheeks. I got a whole back piece. All of that, right? I could sit for my legs all day, every day. I sat through them shits that I just listed. I have probably 50 hours of tattooing left in open space, probably more than that, on my arms, because I just can't be fucked. I hate getting my arms tattooed.
No, dude, like my thigh piece was like 6 hours, I think, and it was obviously ouchy, but I was like, no, we're chilling. That like one little small, like the cat you did on like my bicep, ass, awful, hated it,
Wait, what's that guy's name?
so bad. Eric, I love him.
No, I feel you entirely. I've got 2 upper bicep pieces. Both of them were 8 hours.
So bad.
each. And I was like, whoa. But it was also like, I'm not coming back. Like, these gotta get done now, you know?
Yeah. It also like it bled way more than any of my other ones too. Like oozed. Crazy.
I think that's partially my fault. I mean, like, every tattooer, I'm sure, has the same sort of, like, I can't pack purple, or, like, I can't do this. I can't tattoo biceps. I can't figure it out. I don't know what it is. But after, like, the 4th hour, them shits is just bleeding. And, like, I've had so many people be like, this is what I do, this is what I do. And I've tried every single technique, and I'm like, you know what? I think I'm just cursed. I think that's my thing, is I have to split bicep tattoos into 2 sessions. And that's just the way she goes.
You got mine in one.
Yeah, but I think we were under that, like, threshold of,
Yeah.
like, you know what I mean?
This guy's awesome.
I like him. He's pretty cool.
We'll have to do like a verbal tattoo tour of what people have, because I've just got my one little guy, and I can. Editor Leaf will put a picture on the screen. It's my little quokka that I named Brie Cheese Wheel.
Oh.
I call him Brie Cheese Wheel because if I called it Brie, then people would think it's like short for Brianna, but it's not. It's like the cheese because he's a little squishy. And that's
Little squishy guy.
He's holding a leaf because that's my name, and there's a ladybug, which is to match the centipede that my spouse has.
No.
I don't
Ain't that sweet.
I should not do a tattoo tour, personally,
Speed
because...
up. Do it like the Pokemon rap.
Oh, there's just too many. I'm 90, no, I'm not 90%, but like I am mostly tattoo. However, I will say I have a Goro Majima tattoo. That I will bring up. And just because, you know, homie was like, yo, do I see Yakuza shit? You do. My back piece is also a dragon, because who doesn't love fucking Kiryu
yes.
Kazuma? Yeah. It's not his back piece. However,
My boy Kiryu-chan.
yeah. And you know what I'm also working on is Kiryu, his back piece, and Majima's back piece. But I slam them together.
Kiryu-chan.
Kiryu. Oh,
I love that.
so I get to work on that guy in like a week, and I cannot wait. But anyways, we can't get into fucking Ryoga. We can't get into it. I'll ruin the podcast.
Not yet.
Not yet. We'll get there.
All right. Well, I have another question on the science behind it, because, like I said, I do want to get some tattoos. I've been kind of exploring my own style quite a bit recently, but one of the issues is I have very, very sensitive skin, and it causes problems with a lot of different things. Anything that you would recommend, or just like pretty well the basic steps that you were talking about there?
So it's a tricky one. So like, it depends. Like, what do you mean by sensitive skin?
Like, how do I put this?
Like, is it ouchy, or are you just like sensitive to like creams and scents and?
All of the above.
Okay. So typically, like, so me specifically, if you were to book with me, I have like a Google Docs. It kind of holds your hand on like asking questions so that you don't feel as lost. And one of the questions is, do you have any allergies? And usually the most common things I have is like, I'm allergic to lavender. So therefore, you know, I have a couple soaps that I use in the process. I'm not going to use the one that's like calming with lavender. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Another one I get is, you know, I'm allergic to adhesives. So maybe I don't use a second skin. Like maybe I use my, like, I call them meat packs. They're not meat packs. but they're like a dressing that doesn't have adhesive. And then I use like vet wrap or cat wrap, you know, that like you go to your vet and they put that shit on your cat. I got that. So it kind of just depends on what we need to navigate. But I mean, like, if you're kind of like, you know, D, all of the above sensitive, I'm not going to be confident and say the tattoo won't affect you, because you may have some issues with healing, you know, you may have more itchiness, stuff like that. So I couldn't confidently be like, yeah, you can get a tattoo, you'd be fine. But like, we could take the extra steps to avoid anything heavily scented, any unneeded adhesives. Another big one is avoiding anything that has like lidocaine. There's this big, I'm not gonna call it a trend, because I get it, like tattoos hurt. But there is sort of a trend on people using heavier numbing solutions. So when I first started, it was really just like the majority of what people were using that I had seen was things like Bactine, which have a 2.5% lidocaine in it. And like, for the most part, it was relatively safe. You know, you don't use it a ton. But now we're seeing things that have, you know, 5, 6. I've even seen 25% lidocaine in a cream. Honestly, I don't think that shit was made in Canada. I think that shit was imported. I don't know. Man told me 25%. I put it back on the table. I walked away. But, you know, it's terrible. And like, we're seeing things now that have extra like epinephrine, and like, you know, everyone's got their opinions, but I genuinely do not believe that I have undergone any sort of training or have the extensive knowledge needed to administer things like epinephrine. So like, we're seeing a lot of people have reactions to those concoctions where it's like, you know, I don't want to feel the pain. It's like, that's cool. I don't want to be a bad guy and be like, sucks to suck, you got to feel the pain. But like, I don't think going to these creams with all these extra, you know, epinephrine, lidocaine, whatever the hell else is in them, like, I don't know that that's a solution. But like, yeah, so that's another thing that I would probably avoid, being somebody who's sensitive to things. Like, I also would just avoid numbing and topical shit like that.
That makes sense, because so far, like, numbing agents haven't been too much of an issue for me personally. It's just, I'll put it out there. My doctor has called me a medical marvel. 2 doctors have called me medical marvels in the worst way possible.
Me too,
so,
twin.
Even, I don't even know what the fuck is the problem with a lot of things. It's just a matter of, like, I have very sensitive skin to... Like, I effectively have allergies to everything without the allergy part, because I've gone for an allergy test. I've done like the whole like needle thing or scratch. I don't remember what I did. You know, I did it, and not a single thing I was allergic to, but I still have the same stuff for it.
I'm wondering if, I mean, I'm not a doctor, but I'm wondering if it's just like the way that it's also being like administered. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's also very much possible. Like, I don't think I have issues with scented stuff. I think the only issue that I have is like, I think wheat-based alcohol. I think the fermenting process of it causes issues. But like, that it's why I'm scared to get like tattoos. I'm like that, not specifically that, but I like anytime I go to shave or anything. I will always get razor burn, even without like I do everything to avoid it, and it happens like 2 days after. I mean, even Mel can attest. It was like a couple of days ago. I was shaving my thigh, and it was just red. Not the same day, the next day.
Interesting.
I have no idea why. So I don't. That's why I've avoided going to do that. But like, if that if it doesn't feel like that would be an issue, like I want to do something small eventually. Like I have a tattoo place here that I'd like to do just something quick, small, and for that I'll talk about that in a bit. But yeah, that's I just wanted to go through that because I genuinely didn't even know where to start.
No, it makes sense. And like, to be honest, like, I can't even 100% say that like it won't affect you, because it probably won't be a great time. You may have, like I said, like more itching, more healing issues than others. Like, and two things I can talk about, like I do have clients who, they have chronic acne, so maybe they don't have acne in the area of the tattoo, but then, getting the tattoo kind of gives them a flare up, and then they get acne that pokes through the tattoo, and then a touch-up is needed, and it's just like, that's totally fine. Do you know what I mean? Like, we just gotta move on. The other thing that I would be concerned about, and like, I feel terrible that I didn't brush up on this specifically before we talked, but there is sort of a histamine reaction that a lot of people, I would argue probably most people, 90% of people who are tattooed have had this happen where, and I wish I was more brushed up on this, but essentially your immune system is always sort of targeting your tattoos. And sometimes people, like for me, if my tattoos are out in the sun, like a little too long, or if I like bump a tattoo, it gets like kind of raised and itchy.
Yeah.
And like, and essentially what it is your immune system being like, oh fuck, like that's there.
Yeah.
It's not supposed to be there.
Yeah, and then you kind of get like a little bit of a reaction. I mean, this shit goes away. I find if I put like cream on it, it's less itchy, but it gets like burning and it gets raised, and like it's completely normal. Like I said, it's like your allergen center in your brain being like, no. But just look up what I'm saying though, because I'm dumbing it down. I'm definitely dumbing it down, but it sounds like perhaps that could be another thing that you may have more frequent of an issue with. Another thing too, like, make sure, I mean, I don't know where you're going for your tattoos, but like, kind of make sure.
Hopefully to you at some point.
Oh, I appreciate that. But there are inks. Okay, so a lot of us who are reputable will be getting our supplies from reputable sources, and a lot of these reputable sources don't really love to sell to people who are just kind of tattooing out of their house. A lot of them, like for example, I get a lot of my supplies from Icon. Another place that I get a lot of my supplies is FYT. And thank you to them. They've also sponsored me. But both of them are reputable companies that they don't just sell to anybody. You kind of, it's not like an interview, but you have to kind of
you have to do like a screening kind of thing.
So they're not just like sending to anybody. They want to make sure that like you're professional and you're not just being dirty. And by doing that, you get to use good supplies. So you're less likely to get reactions because these are companies that are sending you inks like Dermaglow, Solid, Fusion, Eternal. Like all of these are the main inks that people are using because they're not giving people those big reactions. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I get you.
If you're able, and if you don't come to me, you don't have to. I really appreciate that. But yeah, if you're able, just kind of make sure that like you're going to somebody reputable who's not going to use shit ingredients, and then that'll also kind of at least ease the anxiety and help you not.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah. That makes sense. All right. Anyways, I'm gonna pass the mic over to Mel because tattoo tour. Fuck.
Yeah, I don't have a lot of tattoos. I just have one. It's one that I had thought about for a while. It's just like an eye on my back, like my persona, but it's just on the back. But I remember going in, and I hear you talk about numbing agent. Does every tattoo artist do that? Is that something that's supposed to be common?
So it's a tricky one. So like me personally, I actually don't let people come in with numbing cream. Everybody is different. The reason I don't allow it, there's a couple reasons. So my style of tattooing is very color heavy and it's very like packing heavy. So I find a lot of these numbing creams kind of alter the skin's texture a bit. So it's actually kind of good you're asking this question now, because earlier in the podcast I mentioned how it's really nice to have your skin hydrated. It kind of helps with that elasticity. I find some of these numbing creams, they kind of almost tighten your skin at the surface. It changes the surface of your skin. So, and you know, some people, they don't notice that, but I think it's honestly because they're doing different style of tattooing, where maybe they're not packing as heavy, or they're just not needing the skin to be as, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just speaking from my own experience. But because of that differing in texture, you know, I'm finding I'm not tattooing as well as I could be. Tattoos aren't healing as vibrant or as consistent because the skin kind of goes in one texture and then settles to another texture. So it's a little bizarre that way. Another reason is we really, as soon as we started getting interested in these numbing creams, all of a sudden there was a bunch of these companies that nobody had ever heard of being like, yes, we also sell numbing creams. And so people were just buying shit off Amazon. And people were getting lidocaine poisoning, and it just became like either like lidocaine poisoning or severe allergic reactions, or, you know, people would put the stuff on and then they'd take it off at the studio and their skin was just so red and blistered, it was just not workable. So for me, I was like, I don't want that unpredictability. So then I just didn't allow it as a whole. Now, there are companies that I'm hearing about, like Zenza. Apparently they have been in the industry for a while, and it is a lot of artists are actually saying like this is a cream that doesn't do everything that I've just described. Obviously you will have people who can still have allergic reactions. It's not like a catch-all, but it is one where I'm hearing people are like, oh, you don't have that skin issue where it's a different kind of what's the fucking word I'm thinking of? You know, when like the skin feels different, like tightness,
like tension.
Yeah. There's less of that like tension that the Zenza doesn't cause the tension that like some of these off-brand creams were causing. You know, stuff like that. So like me personally, I don't like it, and it is in my terms of service. It is in my, you know, I will tell people that because people will ask that if they can bring it, and I get around that by, you know, I do actually have Bactine, and it has that lower percentage of lidocaine. I trust it because, you know, I've used it on myself for years. I've used it on other people for years. It doesn't work on skin that's not open. So if you're getting a larger piece, it's nice because, you know, you do the lines, you spray Bactine, you take a break, and usually people are able to kind of get through the next couple hours pretty well. It takes the edge off of it. But personally, I don't like when people use numbing creams beforehand. Everybody's different, but that's just me. Like, those are my reasons, and a lot of people share the same reasons, but like I'm not going to argue about it. If I meet tattooers, and I have, that like it and use it, that's cool, yo. You do you.
Oh, okay, I get you. Yeah, I didn't really know about numbing cream until after my tattoo, and I was realizing I probably should have done a bit more research into that specifically, but I don't know. Yeah, that's interesting. It
is cool. It also doesn't really work on everyone.
Yup.
So what year was this? It was last year. So not 2024, but 2023. I was in Gatineau, and like I was fucking stoked. All right, we were at a convention, and I had just won an award for a tattoo that I had done on my husband, and it was like 11 at night, and I was like, yo, let's spend some money, let's do dumb shit. And I'm walking around this convention center, and there's a guy, and like, God, I feel terrible. I cannot remember his name for the life of me. Actually, as I'm talking about this, I'm gonna pull up his Instagram because he's a sick dude. But anyways, he was just hanging out with his booth mates, and I found on his like booth a really cool tattoo of he had all these flash designs of these really cool symmetrical like floral designs. And so this guy had a bunch of really cool kind of like Art Nouveau, maybe, I don't know, I might be thinking of something different, but anyways, but this really cool kind of illustrative floral, and I was like, yo dude, that shit's cool. How much do you want for that? He completely was not like charging enough, but I was like, you know what, I still want this. And he was like, where do you want to put it? And I said I wanted it on my throat. And man was like pretty hesitant, because I get it, like it was late at night, and like people were just kind of winding down, and I'm over here being like, yo, you want to ruin my day. So he was like, why don't you try getting your throat numbed? Or maybe it was my idea, I can't remember. But I go to a booth and they're selling, again, like just like some off-brand shit. I spent $40 on this tiny tube that just said tattoo numbing on it. And like it wasn't even on. No, but I don't even think it was printed on the tube. I think it was just like a sticker. Like it couldn't have been any sketchier. And so we like irritated my throat with like a razor to kind of open the skin up a bit, spurt the whole bottle on my throat and put saran wrap on it so that it stayed like wet and moist, because when it dries out that shit doesn't work anymore. And I popped back like 45 minutes in, he got me stenciled, we're good to go. And that first line, I thought I was gonna die. That numbing cream did nothing.
Oh no!
And
$40 on
I spent $40, and you know what? I get it. Like I should have. The other thing too, I did everything the opposite of what I tell people to do. Like I was running on a poutine and 2 Gatorades.
Yeah.
And it was like 11 o'clock at night, and I was like, "Fuck this shit, ruin my day." And it looks dope. It's great. I can't remember why I'm bringing this up. Oh, it's because numbing creams are unpredictable. So even if you even if you're like, I'm gonna get so and so done. I'm gonna my hand done. I'm gonna numb it, so I'll be good. Don't count on it. Don't count on it because that shit didn't work. But anyways, the guy who did my tattoo on my throat, just because it is one of the first things that people see, his name is Maxime. He works at MTL Tattoo in Montreal. That whole shop is great, but he was so patient. He was so excellent. I definitely recommend him. His Instagram is max.o_o.monster. Yeah, great guy. Super patient. So there's that.
Dude, do you remember when you were doing my thigh tattoo and we had taken our break and you back teamed me up? We took like a 30-minute break and then we got back to it and you were just like, man, this shit just doesn't work on you, huh?
I don't remember that. What happened? Did you just you felt it?
Yeah, it just doesn't work on me.
That's fair. It sometimes too.
It was awesome.
Other tattooers may or may not know what I'm talking about, but Bactine does come in a Bactine Max solution, and I think it's 5% lidocaine. But you gotta go over the border for it. They don't sell it in Canada. You gotta go to the States. That shit works better. Sometimes Bactine doesn't do anything for people. Sometimes it just takes the edge off. Whatever gets you through it. Sometimes I think it's a friggin' what's it called? When you take a sugar pill. A placebo. Sometimes I think it's a placebo.
Yeah.
But you know what? Whatever gets you through, because I genuinely do think a lot of it is mental half the time,
Yeah, that's true. It is all, I do not... I'm a natural ginger, so I just do not take any, anesthesia at all. They have to triple dose me.
I don't either. I don't know. I'm bringing this up because I know you guys follow me on Instagram and I would label us as friends. Did y'all see when they tried knocking me out for my wisdom teeth?
Yeah.
So I don't even remember doing that. The dentist on the way out was like, yo, get your wife to check their phone on the way out type shit, right? When I'm sobered up. But essentially what I had done, to long story short this, is going in before they knocked me out, I was like, yo, wouldn't it be funny if I took a picture of me at the dentist office with all the shit?
Oh, yeah.
Because it's got all those instruments and shit. And I was going to caption it don't eat the clam chowder at the Lexus December to Remember event, right? So funny. But I didn't do that because I was so scared of just being at the dentist office. Today my Fitbit was keep it up, because it thought I was exercising. I was having a panic attack in the dentist office. I don't like that shit. But my little ant brain has I'm panicking, and then they put the shit in me to knock me out. But somehow in between that, before I was fully knocked out, I got my phone out and started recording don't eat the clam chowder at the Lexus December to Remember event. And the dentists were like, okay, cool, do you want to put your phone down? I was like, well, I gotta get this bit, okay? And then I did it a second time, and you can see the dentist being like, yeah, that's great, and like trying to take my phone from me, and I'm like, y'all gotta fuck off, I gotta get this bit. And like then the screen just goes black. So like obviously like that was the moment they knocked me out, but they had to do it 3 times because I was just like, I'm fighting through this, I gotta get this bit, you gotta leave me the fuck alone. It was good. So yeah, I understand it. I think it's a common issue.
You needed to tell the people not to eat the clam chowder.
Yeah, at the deck.
You wouldn't go down until
fucking,
December to Remember.
So stupid.
Awesome.
That's fucking awesome, dude.
It's just brain rot, honestly.
Welcome to Are We On Air?
Yeah,
That's what this
yeah.
is. We try and tone down the brain rot with guests, so it's great that you already have it.
Oh no, it's terminal too, honestly.
Do you have that video? Can we like put that in here?
Oh, I do actually, if you'd like it.
Want to put your phone down in here in your pocket?
Yeah, just don't drop it.
Yeah, I don't want to from this side.
Film this bit. Say 2 seconds. Don't eat the clam chowder from the Lexus December to Remember event. Don't do it. I feel like it's not actually that funny,
If
but
you said it to
No,
me,
dude, I
on
was fucking
screen.
cracking up hard. I showed my mom that. Or no, I think my mom messaged me because she follows you, and she was like, "Did you see Yoro's story about the clam chowder?"
so dumb. There are worse, and you know what? So I went to the dentist because like I was like, I'm afraid of germs, so I look up everything about everything. So I was like, I can't spit after I do my wisdom teeth. So I know that like
yeah.
So I was like, okay, it's been a week. I'm gonna wash my mouth out because I'm sure that like there is an ecosystem. Like my ecosystem in my mouth has probably discovered religion. That's how like fucking much bacteria is probably in there. And so I go and I'm like, oh, it's been a week. I swish around. I fucking spit out some shit. Blood clot, yo.
Oh my
So
God.
I got,
dude, yeah.
I got dry socket. So I go in,
Yeah.
and they patched me up or whatever, and it was the dentist that, because I saw him on the film. I was like, holy fuck, on the film. I'm 30. I saw him on my phone on the video, and I was like, hey, yo, I'm sorry about that clam chowder shit. And he was like, oh, don't fret. Like, you actually weren't the worst patient that day. And I was like, oh, what happened? He was like immediately after you, we had a young girl, she was in high school, like whatever the fuck age, and she didn't want to listen to the whole like you need to fast before these surgeries. And so as they were like, I don't know what the fuck they were doing, I can't remember, but they were like working on her mouth, and then the dental assistant nurse lady or whatever was like, this bitch's mouth is filling up with saliva. So she's like half asleep, like kind of knocked out. I think she was on laughing gas or some shit, but her mouth was filling up with spit. And so they were like, oh my God, she's gonna throw up. And so like upon that realization, as soon as they tilted her sideways, there was just fucking ham sandwich everywhere. Like threw up all over the place. And like, I can't fully remember if they stopped everything or if they like finished what they were doing at that moment, but she was like, we had to stand in that vomit for like 5 minutes, and then we had to call people in to help like clean up the area and shit. And I was like, okay, clam chowder bit's not actually that inconvenient.
It sounds actually like would be relieving.
Yeah.
Like,
Dude,
oh my God,
it's
this person just really likes clam chowder.
Yeah, or is an
It's
idiot.
so crazy because like my boyfriend got his wisdom teeth out last year, I think, and this was his first ever surgery. And you'd think it would be common sense, but like not for someone who's never had any surgery. But they didn't tell him anything about needing to fast before he got it done. Like they didn't give him any of the forms. They didn't tell him at all. So he woke up and he was like, cool, breakfast, time for surgery. And then he went in and they were like, oh, you ate, you fucking idiot, stupid. And then they just didn't put him out. They're like, yeah, we can't put you under. So they just did it without.
Oh my God.
Whoa, that's crazy, yo.
I know.
No, like I am so bad with fucking dentist shit. Like I have to wear slides because they come off because I have to like grip my toes, and I was blasting music in my headphones for a teeth cleaning. all right? I wasn't even getting fucking surgery. I was just like, don't like the grinding, don't like the smell of my teeth when you're doing this.
Yeah. Oh, dude, the noise, the worst. I have not. I'm so bad. I have literally not taken care of my teeth since the last time I went to the dentist, which was when I was like 12. So I finally was like, time to book an appointment, and I booked a cleaning, and that shit sucked.
It's not good. The only reason I go, because my hygienist was like, oh, like, what's the matter? Like, you know, why are you doing this if you don't like it? Like, as a joke, right? And I was like, because my husband has a real job with insurance. So, like, if I don't do it, like, it's stupid. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. No, that's the one thing I regret, because I don't have any insurance, so I'm paying out of pocket, and I was covered until I was 21, I think, which I just turned in May. But every time as a teenager, I would be like, please, can I go to the dentist? My dad would be like, yeah, haha, and then just not give me an appointment.
Holy. Yeah. Nah, I think my cleaning, if I remember properly, was like 344 bones.
Oh.
I get 95% back, though.
Oh.
Because my husband got a real job.
Hell yeah.
I think mine was around that too, but I'm going in the 27th because I have 6 cavities that need to be filled, because again, I don't take care of shit and it's bad, and now I do, but I didn't for like 12 years, and they're doing it in 2 sessions, and this one, they're filling 4 of my teeth, and it's $1,000.
Speaking of things that need to be done in several sessions.
Yeah. Anyways,
sorry, to fill the gap there, but
actually, you know what? I'm gonna talk about teeth for a second, because but I'm also gonna like fucking derail it into tattooing. All right. I don't like the dentist because I'm extremely squeamish as a person. I don't like blood. I hate blood. I hate fucking. My whole thing is I am made of plastic. There are no organs in me. There are no fluids in me. I'm just made of plastic. I'm good. Which is, I tell that to people and they're like, what the fuck? You literally deal with fluids daily. And I'm like, no. It's different. It's different, because I don't know if you guys have ever seen like somebody who got tattooed and then like the pores start pushing out plasma and blood and shit. That shit's like, it's like dew on a leaf in the morning. All right, it's gorgeous. But like,
dude, I kind of love it. I don't know.
Right?
I'm like, yeah,
it's nice. It's cool. But like, nah. I used to work in the veterinary field. I used to work. So I used to work as like a exotics educator for like a reptile zoo. I used to work as a groomer. There's a surprisingly large amount of blood as a groomer. So I was like, fuck this. Before I was in clinic spaces, and that I was also like, fuck this. I can't deal with all the blood. So then I tried grooming, and I was like, well, okay, there's a lot of blood here. So then I thought, let's try tattooing. Somehow it's different, but yeah, I am very squeamish by nature, which is kind of a bizarre place to be in, but here we are.
You know what? That's very interesting and very, very nice to hear, because I'm also very squeamish. So I was like, bitch, I can't do tattooing, but here we go.
Honestly,
I watch my little plasma seep out, and I'm like, hell yeah.
You're like, yeah, it's cool.
My little plasma, friendship is magic.
I will be honest though, like there are times where like, so things that make you bleed more, stimulants.
Yeah.
Things like nicotine, so smokers. I found out recently pre-workout. I don't know how pre-workout works. But it does make you bleed more. Because I have people who are like, oh, I can't go to the gym for a while after my tattoo. I'm going to have pre-workout and work out before my tattoo. That shit makes you bleed so much. So like, you know, coffee, drinking the night before, no alcohol, don't do that shit. All of these little things make you bleed so much faster. And like, so 2 things. 1, if you're bleeding too much, I will send you home, because there's no point in me trying to drive color in that is mixing with blood that has no intention of going in nicely. It's going to go in patchy, so it's going to heal patchy. So I will send you on your way, because I'm not going to fucking, give me an extra $160 an hour, all right? but you're gonna have to come back. Like, it's just not. The other thing too, if you're bleeding to that extent, I'm gonna throw up and pass out. So
Yeah.
two-way street.
Exactly.
For you and for the client and also for yourself.
It's for the client both ways, because you don't want to scoop me up off the floor, honestly.
True. That would definitely be an unforgettable experience, though, if you, like, your arm just exploded and the tattoo artist just collapsed on the floor.
Yeah. Feel like, sorry, figure it out.
It'd be memorable.
It's bandages under that drawer.
Well,
Bandage up the gore, see if it'll fit. Yeah, no, I fully get you with the squeamish. I used to be, but as I said before, the medical marvel I've had to see so much. It doesn't make it better, but it's okay. I can stomach it, I guess. I do.
Sorry, I didn't want to interrupt. You go ahead.
Oh, it's fine. I did want to say I have a pretty big issue with needles.
Ooh.
I don't know if that would carry over to a tattoo needle.
I will say I think it really. I think it's the same as like a lot of people who are scared of needles are like, hell yeah, I'll get like 15 piercings in my face, but like. I can deal with needles, no problem. What I can't deal with is I cannot do getting my blood drawn, and I cannot do IVs. They have to hold me down, and I will scream. And there was a phase when they didn't know what was going on with all my medical stuff, where I was getting my blood drawn like once a week for like 6 weeks. Didn't help at all. Was still just as bad. Tattoos though. Awesome.
Dude,
do that shit all day.
I know the drawn blood. I have to do it because of the meds I take. Like every single at least like 3 months.
Yeah, mine was every 6 weeks when I was on fucking crazy shit.
Yeah.
Like it's just I can't take it because, as I said, I was hypersensitive, but that's not just my skin. I can feel it leave my body, and it makes me so.
Yeah, no, me too. I know exactly what you mean.
It's like I'm a bottle, and I can feel that shit leaving. Yeah. I have to lay down. The amount of arguments I've gotten with nurses because, like, you know, I've been in and out of Emerge, not recently, but like back when I was, and it's just like a little corner area with like a chair, and I'm like, you got to get me 3 more of these bitches because I got to lay down, and they're like, oh, it won't take that long. No. You're not getting it. I'm going to be on this floor. Yeah. There's going to be 2 different kinds of emergencies.
I luckily haven't had any blood taken since I was like a kid, but for some reason when I was like 6 or 7, they just needed my blood like all the time. And like that shit as a little kid, like sweet little Leaf, it was awful. And so I also hate needles. But
no, that's literally
my tattoo. Like I've only had the one, and it was like what 3 hours or something like that.
Yeah, about.
And it was like other than like the last 30 minutes of the color getting packed in was totally fine.
Yeah.
Like to everyone who says it feels like a cat scratch, I resonated with that because like my cat wakes me up every morning by beating the fuck out of me. Like I wake
she's
up
so sweet
because I feel her paws scratching my face up. So it's like that's what I deal with every morning. But no, needles.
Personally, to me, it feels like sunburns.
Oh yeah,
that's so valid. I hope it feels like sunburns because I will say cat scratches they freak me out on a very deep level because that's actually where my fear of needles came from. I got scratched by a cat and then got blood poison. Almost died and was like a pincushion as like a 3-year-old. It was messed up.
Yeah. Cat scratchers can be gnarly.
As like somebody who works
like
in
an old cat.
Yeah, like I worked in. Okay, I have now fucking multiple things. Okay, first thing though, before we change this topic, because we're talking about needles, something that's validating. So you guys probably know this. Anybody who else is listening to this, who's coming from my followers, I fucking love sumo wrestling, dude. And so I don't know if it's because like it's the new year and like the January Emperor's Cup is coming up, but there was like a post recently showing like all the upper ranks, like the Ozekis and shit like that, getting their blood taken and like vaccines and shit, and every single one of them hated it. So don't even worry. Even like up upper rank sumos who like it's their job to every day train in like the stables that they're in. They're pushing themselves constantly. Like they're big old muscle dummies, and they also hate it. So don't even worry about it. Nobody likes needles. Nobody.
Yeah, nobody likes needle. Speaking of impalements, though, piercings.
Yeah, Aaron, you briefly brought up piercings, and I wanted to ask, do you do piercings as well, or is it primarily tattoos?
Oh, me? No. I don't do that shit. Yo, I got my second lobes pierced. I almost passed out for both of them. That shit spooks me. I was talking to the piercer, Omen, bless their soul. I was like, can I put headphones in for this? And they were like, no, not at all. Like, it's got to be a sterile. And I was like, if I hear this piercing go through my lobe, I'm on the ground. Like, there's no fucking chance. And they were like, you're not going to hear it, you're not going to hear it. I heard it. We had to take a full 10 minutes in between. Second lobes, yo. Second lobes.
Oh, no.
And then I got my eyebrows pierced. 2 the same day in the center. Also, bless Kelsey's soul in Ottawa because they were so patient with me. There's no way.
Wait, who was it?
Her name is Kelsey Pierces, I think. Fuck.
Okay. I think I actually know that spot.
Yeah, Liquid Impact.
Oh shit. Okay. Yeah. No, I know where that is.
I mean, Kelsey is also, like, decently well-known, so she actually puts... This is another thing about body mod communities. This is just for anybody who is really looking to make sure that they're getting somebody reputable, especially for piercers. Kelsey is one of those people that goes out of their way to get training, not just from, like, their main source of, like, you know, where they apprenticed or whatever, but they actually travel everywhere to go to seminars, to, you know, I believe they also do, like, different online training. Like, they are so well equipped for body modifications because they do all that extra work and extra travel to learn more about their trade. And so, like, if you're ever looking to get a body mod, like, definitely look out for people like that. The other thing too is, like, you know, the piercings that I'm wearing right now have been purchased and selected by her, so they're nice. It's nice jewelry. Like, I wasn't just pierced by some random titanium, which is good. Titanium's good. I'm not saying it's bad, but, like, I don't have that, like, oh, I can't wait for these to be healed so that I can put something nice in there. Like, she was able to find nice jewelry that is piercing grade that can sit in my eyebrows. So, like, that is also big. Do you know what I mean? Like, she's taking the time to make sure that everything is up to code. It's great, you know?
Yeah, that sounds great.
So yeah, big recommend. Kelsey, Liquid Impact.
I think I'm out of questions at the very least.
What you know about Skibidi Toilet?
Don't even say that right now.
I bought my brother a Skibidi Toilet, like, mystery thing because we were in Giant Tiger Christmas shopping and we heard this kid and he was like, Mom, Skibidi Toilet! I was like, what? And I turned around and it was, they had fucking a whole shelf of Skibidi Toilet shit.
Dude, I saw that when I was in there. I was gonna buy it for Will's stocking, but they were like $8.
They were $8,
It's like, hell no.
Well, speaking of which, Aaron, did you get anything else really cool for Christmas from anybody really cool?
I got the best gift in the entire world ever from my friend Leaf.
What was it? What?
It was maybe a freaking Yorokobi gift card even.
Oh yeah.
And I can't wait. You can't even wait to use it. What the heck?
It's true.
Fuck, I forgot about that. Y'all came to my house and everything.
I showed up in the dead of night and I said, I need a gift card.
I was so happy. I did a little dance at my place of work. I was so excited.
A little jig.
I haven't been able to afford tattoos in 1 million years.
I'm telling you, I get it. Like, I feel terrible. Like, I would say my rate is quite competitive.
No, your rate is, like, incredible, especially, like...
But I don't cut with a shop.
Considering your skill, because you're, the Canada guy ever.
I am Canada. No, you know, it's not to say that, like, tattooers are overcharging. It's just I don't cut with a shop. So, like, you know, I think the average I think I'm seeing in my city in general, and I'm not counting, holy fuck, I'm not shit talking, but there's a couple shops in town, and they charge a rate that they charge because of the skill level in which they hire. So I'm not counting those shops. But the average in the more reputable shops in town, I am seeing around 200 an hour plus tax. And I know that sounds like it's a lot, but you've got to remember they are cutting with the shop.
Yeah.
And maybe if they're not cutting with a shop, they are paying for supplies. And like them shits are not cheap anymore.
No.
So it's something to remember. Like, yes, my rate seems low, but it's just I don't cut. So
Yeah, absolutely. But no, just like, man, my fucking, I swear to God, my animals are just like, hey, you're good financially, lol. And then,
oh yeah.
you know, yeah. But now
you got a gift card you gotta use.
Now, see, it's extra scary because I do want to get my other bicep done because I'm feeling unsymmetrical.
Yes, that's why I got my eyebrows. You got my second lobes, 1-1, and then I got my eyebrows 1-1.
Actually.
Yeah, I need to get my bicep and I need to get my other thigh. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say natural segue if we want to talk dream tattoos / tattoo wish lists.
Blush. I have so many. What the heck?
Yeah, go. You also didn't give us a tattoo tour.
Oh,
So tell us what
I
you
have
got,
many.
and then tell us what you want.
I'll make it so quick. So I got my first tattoo December 2022, I think. And it was just a little lyric, and I was like, cool, tattoo rocks. And then
Love tattoo.
even before, actually, I got my first one done by an apprentice in a shop. But even before that, I had already booked one with Jovi, which was my first big one, which was my Yu-Gi-Oh one.
Yeah.
People
which is
love
near and dear to my heart.
Yu-Gi-Oh.
And I booked it in advance, and then I was like, hey, I should make sure I can actually get a tattoo, lol. So I got my little script, then I got that, and then, so I've got the Yu-Gi-Oh, I've got that. In between that, I think right after you posted a flash sheet with this funny little clown jester cat, and I was like, mine, so I grabbed that.
That was before Sanji? I thought Sanji was
Yeah.
Oh.
No, that was like, I think that was a month or so. I think it was just like a month after I got my Yu-Gi-Oh one. And then I waited a little bit, and then came Sanji, my big boy.
You know something? That encouraged me to, cause like, every tattooer's got a shit leg, and it's the leg that like, you fucked your shit up, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm not tattooing myself anymore. No more. And then I was like, well, Aaron has a husband and it's not her leg. And so you actually inspired me to fuck up 1/4 of my leg with my Majima half sleeve, whatever the fuck he is. He's there. He's hanging out.
That means so much. What the heck? It was like, the thing was, it's like, man, it was totally, like, I don't want to say it was an impulsive decision because I was like, hell yeah, I'm getting a Sanji. But I, like, very much was just, like, sitting on my couch one day and I was like, huh, you know what? And then I filled out the form.
Free will.
And it wasn't even, we weren't even originally gonna make it as big as it was, I don't think.
I have an issue with that.
No, it's odd. I'm so glad we went bigger.
And everybody says that. Like, I have people who are like, how the fuck do you get your clients to get, like, big tattoos all the time? I'm like, I print that shit humongous.
Yeah.
And then they go, that would actually look kind of cool that big. And I'm like, yeah, dude, we could do it that big.
Well, yeah, because I originally was like, yeah, I'll get it the same as my Yu-Gi-Oh one, which is, like, on my calf. And then you were like, what if? And I was
what
like...
if 80% bigger, actually?
Yeah, what if whole thigh? And I was like, hell yeah.
Now you have a whole
So, yeah. I got that one. I got a few in between. I got my chopper flash, which I get compliments on every day, but from all the losers that shop at my store. I'm like really sad right now that it's winter because I have to wear pants, so
That's
Sanji
why
is contained.
I got hand tattoo and throat tattoo because who the fuck gonna
Yeah.
know you cool in the winter? Nobody. Nobody knows.
Well, I have Sanji in my like favorites on my phone because anytime anyone's like, "I like your chopper," I'm like, "Whoa, wait!"
You actually don't know
And I have to pull up
shit.
the photo.
Yeah.
There was a little kid in my store actually the other day that was like probably like 7 looking at One Piece games on PS4, and I was like, "You like One Piece?" And he was like, "Yeah."
You like One
And then he
Piece?
saw Chopper and he was like, "Oh," and I was like, "Who's your favorite?" And he said Sanji, and I was like, "Oh." And then I showed him, and it was the happiest I've ever seen a kid. He did like a little dance. It was awesome.
I was at Gatineau this year, and there was a tattoo I'd never met before, and I probably was a garbage first impression, but like, okay, now I have a different story. I'm gonna tell this first story before I get back to the Gatineau story. So, I'm in Japan. I am in Shinjuku Station, and I don't know if anyone has been in the Shinjuku Station. Anyone listening? It's a hellscape. It is so fucking hard to just find. I mean, all of fucking most of Tokyo's rail system, fucking train station. That shit is just confusing to navigate. But we're in Shinjuku, and I am sick as shit. I picked up, I'm guessing, a throat infection from when we were in Harajuku because it was just so busy and it was raining and it was just a bad time. So we're in Shinjuku because I will not miss out on Kabukicho. I need to be there. I need to breathe that air. So we're walking through Shinjuku. It's the end of our day. We've already done Kabukicho. I'm running a fever of like 102. I feel sick, all right? But I'm trudging through trying to find out how to get out of Shinjuku Station because we got to catch like another fucking train. I don't even remember at the time. But we're walking, and we're through this tunnel, and there are all these little ads in the wall being like, oh, here's like, I don't fucking know, Ultraman, you know what I'm saying? It's a bunch of bullshit. And we're walking by, and I'm dizzy as shit, and all of a sudden from the corner of my eye, like 12 feet away, is this tiny advertisement for the Digsta battle figure for the Majima series. And like, I picked that shit up like a hawk trying to hunt like a mouse on the ground. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, even though I was sick as shit, I was like, yo, neuron activated. Anyways, fast forward back to Gatineau. I'm walking by, and I'm so far away from this artist, and I've never met this artist before in my life, and I'm walking by, and I see from the corner of my eye a Oni that is white with a snake around it, and again, neuron activated, and I just walk into this man's booth as he's tattooing. He's French, so I'm like, fuck. And I'm so sorry to invade your space. And I look at the person getting tattooed, and I'm like, what are you getting going on there? What are you getting tattooed? And they were like, there's this video game. And I was like, enough. I put my hand up, and I just like rolled up my fucking pant leg, and I showed them my Goro, like Majima Goro tattoo, and they were just like, holy fuck. And like, just like new friend temporarily made. It was good. So yeah, I understand wanting to spread the brain rot and showing off your Sanji tattoo.
Well, that's so funny because you were also telling me last time I got done about how you went to a place in Japan and they were selling a bunch of Majima shit, and you like whipped out your leg and the guy looked at you like you were a freak.
Yeah, we were in Ikebukuro, and we were in K-Books in Ikebukuro, and it was the video game one specifically, because some of them have like, this one's just called K-Books is like a thrift. You go there to donate very specific things. So like, there's one for cosplay, there's one for like records and books and trinkets and shit. This was the gaming one, and I was like, hey yo, and I was wearing the shirt that I'm currently wearing, which has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pictures of Majima. And I'm like literally just scooping everything Majima from that like wall into my basket. And I go up to the counter, and like, I'm fucking gaijin as shit, yo. Like, I'm ambiguously ethnic, but they know I'm not Japanese. And so they're like talking behind the counter like, oh god, like this one really likes Majima. And like, I don't think they knew that I could understand them. And I just roll up my fucking pant leg, and they're like, holy fuck. like
That's awesome.
I didn't help my case by any means, but I was like, I don't know you. I'm never gonna see you again.
You showed them something.
I did.
Plot twist, you've seen them again.
yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, Sanji is my biggest ever. I love him with my soul. I believe I'm up to 11 tattoos now.
Oh.
And I believe 7 of them are from you.
Man, thank you
That's good
for
fraction.
supporting my little drawings. I'm so happy.
Oh, I'll be back soon. Don't you worry. I got a gift card with your name on it, literally.
And I don't have a gift card, but I have an arm that needs ink in it.
Yeah, and then my most recent from you was my birthday one, which is my raccoon, my little citrusy raccoon.
That was the first tattoo I did back from my trip. I was like, I hope I know
Yeah.
how to tattoo, and then I did.
Well, and it's funny, like, that one, just like, oh, I was so happy about that because I filled out the form and I was like, yeah, maybe early May. And then I realized right after that you had just updated and been like, hey, I'm booking June or whatever. And I was like, fuck. So I sent you a message. I was like, disregard this. And then you responded back and were like, hey, come in on your birthday. I was like, oh my God.
Fuck, yeah.
It's the best day ever.
Did they really say it exactly like that?
Yeah. Exactly.
I got like a small
I'm
handful of clients that like I'm just really cursed with. And they return the favor. Like, I don't know if Josh McKinney is gonna fucking listen to this shit, but shout out to Josh McKinney because this guy, I'm gonna pull up our chat real quick because I don't want to get this wrong. But I drive a 2002 Volkswagen Golf. It's a fucking shitbox. I've got a JBL speaker that sits on my dashboard. That's the speaker system, all right?
Dude, same!
I love her. The Golf is amazing. So I got her fixed, and my mechanic, he's a homie, and so, like, he's great. And I saw he had a GMC logo, like a real GMC logo, and I was like, can I have that? And he was like, what do you want it for? And I'm like, I'm sticking it on the back of the Golf. So my Golf has a Volkswagen emblem, but it also has a GMC emblem. And so my client, my client, Josh McKinney, shout out to Josh McKinney, he goes, yo, I'm a car guy. Part of my like hobby was collecting just like pieces of emblems of vehicles. So he messages me just like a picture of all these scattered letters and shit. And he goes, would you like to have them? And I'm like, dude, I would love that. I would love to just have nonsense on the back of my car. So I will send this image to Leaf. And what he came up with on his own, just like on his mattress, was rare Jeep 2x4 4x4 Pinar edition. And this will be going on the back of my car, which is a company car that I take to conventions.
You know?
Yeah, if you forward that to me, I'll put it on the screen.
Pinar edition is awesome.
I love cruise shit, but yeah, there's a handful of them that I'm like, yo, you gonna match my energy? Let's do this shit.
That's
hype as hell.
Yeah, but many more to come. I have my gift card. I have a big list of dream tattoos as we were discussing, and I'm trying to decide what to use it on. So maybe I'll just let you pick.
Throw a dart at a board.
Yeah, I'll put my list and you can go, I would like to do that one. I'll say it's Slay.
There's only like 2. There's like 3 that I want. One I want because I got the quokkas, it's my favorite animal. And then my second favorite is a sea slug called a leaf sheep. Ooh. And I want one of those guys because I don't know if you've ever seen them, Jovi, but they're so fucking cute. They look like... I'll pull it up while I'm talking, but they're the cutest. And then one that I want, like, eventually... I don't know... Is Adventure Time spoilers okay for people? Like...
Yes!
Like, I'm talking, like, spin-off Adventure Time, like The Distant Lands and Fiona and Cake.
Oh, dude.
I haven't seen those yet, so I will cover my ears.
I haven't seen them either, but I got, like, brain capacity of a shrub, so I will forget.
These are the fun.
Awesome.
So, in, like... It's not even really a spoiler, but just in those episodes that take place, like, way in the future, Finn has this, like, beautiful tattoo of Jake on his chest.
Dude.
Which... isn't because Jake died. That's so, like, it's not even a spoiler. He just got one because he loves his brother so much. And I want something like that for my cat Shadow in the future. Just like when I know she's like nearing her end because she's my literal best friend. She's like my Jake the dog. So that's what I want, but like not for a while. But low key, someone very recently convinced me that the mascot of Team Code Red, who is a little flaming axolotl, would also make a pretty good tattoo, which is actually what is on the asset here on David's back. Someone here convinced me that would be pretty cool, so that is also one. I want to get Steven the axolotl.
I want to get my favorite creature, which, like, I just sent you a vague picture. The garden eel. I went to Japan.
Oh, dude, yeah.
They had a tank of garden eels. I spent probably 45 minutes in the garden eel area, which was a tiny tank.
That pick rocks.
And so did a random Japanese man. And he's in the back of one of my photos, just like looking at the eels. Do you want this on the screen as well? Yeah, I'm gonna send you things I think that would be funny. But yeah, I love garden eels. They get to be about 2 feet in length, and they live up to 40 years. Which is bizarre.
Are you gonna get the Japanese man too?
I could. No, but he's stoked. I'm stoked.
One.
They're good shit.
I cannot believe I have delayed getting a Zelda tattoo this long.
Oh my god.
Because that was actually the first tattoo I saw of yours, was when you did with the Master Sword, I think it was. Like way back when. And then, you know, everyone and their, like, mother has, like, a Chinese dragon tattoo. But Tears of the Kingdom invaded my soul, and the light dragon is a necessity at one point or another.
Valid as hell.
I need you to do Murkrow for me.
I would love to.
Yeah.
I love doing Pokemans.
I know. Dude, so many times. There's been at least like 4 times, I think, that you've posted and been like, hey, does anyone want to sneak in? It has to be a Pokemon.
It's always Pokemon. Whenever I have space, I'm like, come get a little banger, come do a Pokemon.
I've been one little tap away from being like, hey.
No, people message, they're like, does it have to be Pokemon? I'm like, man, what do you got?
I do, of course, need to get Kaiba on my body.
Oh god, yeah.
Need to get what? A Kappa?
Seito Kaiba.
Oh, Kaiba! Ooh, Yugi boy. Okay, yeah.
It's been too prolonged.
Yeah, I would love to do that, actually. Maybe put that on the top of your list.
Get him on the other thigh, match your husband's.
Put him on your butt cheek.
On the back of there you go.
I genuinely did think about making him the other thigh, but I was like, is that too much? But then I was like, wait, I don't care. Wait, I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
I forgot.
It's all a fucking simulation. You got free will. Who cares?
I do. Oh, okay. That's the top. That's number 1.
Confirmed right here from Jovi. Life is a simulation. Get your anime husband's tattooed on your thighs.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's that's why I bought the probably 3 listeners out here know what the fuck I'm talking about. The Majima Chocobo figure, the figure that's worth $1,000.
That's not the. Is that the same one that Evie was?
No, same brand.
Same brand,
but different.
Okay,
it's a different one. And I was like, oh god, I really shouldn't. But then I was like, nothing's real. Nah, but like honestly, I had some money squirreled away, and I've seen that figure go for $6,000 on the internet. So I was like,
dude, why not?
I was like,
no, I think it's the inside of your calf, right, where you put your Majima that you did on yourself, which is fucking insane.
Yeah.
I saw you post that and I was like, ooh, Kaiba would look real nice in there.
You know what's funny too is another tattooer was also like, hey, I like that. I want one of them. And then I literally did another Majima, and they were like, yo, let's make this a whole fucking sleeve. So I expected Kitty.
Dude, that's sick.
Yeah.
No, if I get like Kaiba on the same calf as my other Yu-Gi-Oh one.
Ooh, if I could actually spin the table at you, Jovi. Because dream tattoos, that's one thing. Is there anything that strikes up to you? Not a tattoo for yourself, but is there anything that you really, really, really wanted to do on a person? Because I've seen you beg to like tattoo old yaoi men on people before.
It's not. Oh, God. Yeah. So, like, I don't really have a dream tattoo anymore because like everything I do is fucking dope. I've been very lucky that everyone is coming to me with like dope ideas. Like I want to tattoo portraits of anime characters, and I like tattooing neotrad portraits and neotrad animals. Let's literally keep feeding me that shit. I'll be happy for days. And y'all have been feeding me that shit, so I'm happy. However, Oyajis definitely take the top of the list. If you know what Oyaji is, it's typically just like father figure, but just like old man. Give me the old man characters. I think they're funny. I like drawing them. That's it.
That's awesome. Now, are there any tattoos that you just never want to do again other than Haku from Spirited Away?
Holy, did I tell you that, or do I just read as that?
I feel like I can tell. Whoa. I feel like I've seen a few on your page, and every time I see a tattoo artist, they're like, please stop.
Yes,
no more.
It's okay, listen, correct. But here's the thing. The issue is everyone hands me, and every tattooer probably feels the same. It's the same deviant art.
Image.
Yes, and they all want that image. And I'm like, hear me out. Let me do whatever I want, and it'll look dope. And they're like, I don't think so. Mind you, the ones that go, I don't think so, usually go somewhere else. Because the Hakus that I have done, I've actually been able to put my own spin on it.
Yeah,
so,
dude.
I've been pretty stoked about those guys. But yes, I don't really want to do that same Haku that is on everyone.
Dude, like, I don't think enough people get that, like, sick shot where it's like he's just standing there in dragon form with, like, blood dripping out of his mouth. Like, that rocks, and I've never seen that, and that makes me mad.
For me, I really like doing portraits, so if I could ever choose to do a Haku, I would want to do, like, his face, and then a little bit of, like, because he's like a serpent, right? Like, he's a long dragon. He's like a river, you know? So, like, I would want to do, like, his long neck and then, like, his chest and then sort of kind of warp the perspective in a way that, like, yes, you can see the kind of his body in the background, but I would do it in, like, a less saturated tone, so it gives you more of that, like, background feeling. Dude. Do you know what I'm saying? So it's like you get a lot of, like, bigger...
Yeah, no, that sounds like exactly what I was thinking for my light dragon.
Yeah, like, that way you get, like, and then, like, a cool hand in the front, like one of his claws or some shit, so it's, like, kind of like a forced perspective, but it's bigger, so, like, you get to keep the details in his face for longer. Like, people want him small shit, people want him full body, and it's like, okay, cool, full body means his head has to be like an inch and a half. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Or maybe bigger. I don't know. I don't like doing full body stuff.
Make him bigger.
Like, so things I don't like doing. I actually have like a highlight reel on my Instagram of things I just don't want to do it, and I straight up.
Oh yeah.
If people message me for this shit, I'm gonna be like, first of all, did you look at my page? Because nothing on my page tells me that I want to do your realism baby feet with script. I'm so sorry. And, like, I'm not even calling anybody out specifically because it happens on, like, a semi-monthly basis where I get, like, I want a black and gray portrait of my baby's handprint. Where is the evidence that that would be up my alley? You know what? No. Where is the evidence that I could do that? Do you know what I'm saying?
I get it, but oh my god, do I hate the wrinkly ass realism baby feet tattoos.
It's popular. I get it. You know, they're gonna be with you for the rest of your life. But I just so there are things that I refuse simply because I know there are better people for it.
Yeah.
There are people who are going to enjoy it, and there are people who I just know they're gonna do a better job. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
Like geometric patterns, fine line, script, tribal, all of those are things where I'm like, hey, I know a guy, but it's not me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's pretty much it. Part of me, because I get these instances where I'm like, yo, I'm feeling cocky today. Part of me wants to advertise for hey, for a toonie, I want to do a realism portrait of somebody's dog. Do you know what I mean? So that way, if it turns out looking terrible, you only paid a toonie for it. But I want to see if I can do it.
Awesome, I'm in.
You know what I'm saying? I just want to see if I can do it.
I'll get you to do like a realism of one of my ferrets, but I'll pick one of the like worst images ever where they just look like just like not real and they look like nasty as hell.
So good.
Like I'll get one of the 0.5 photos where their like big gross mouths are open and their like toes are in frame.
Ew.
I want to specifically see if I can tattoo like someone's bulldog or like a pug.
God.
Do you know what I mean?
I suppose it's a French bulldog.
Betty Sue.
Miss Betty Sue, that's what I'm talking about. She's really something.
There's just something complicated and wrinkly about the bitches. Like, I want to go on hard mode if I'm going to do this.
Yeah. Well, do we have any more questions, Eric?
Well, we need to talk. I'd like to hear about your origin story. You've you've gone into all the like shit you did before, like vet and grooming and whatnot. But you know what? Just tell me your story. Tell me what made you be like, damn, this is it.
So it's so funny. Like, I'll definitely get into a part of my life where like a lot of tattooers could probably share similar stories. Believe it or not, my first shop wasn't great. But like, I mean, my story's a little bit unique because like, it's been like 3 years of shit. Anyways. But it is not a unique thing to hear people not sticking with their first shop. So I guess my origin story is, not that I really care about like if people know my government name. I don't use it. I prefer if people didn't use it. But for as long as I could remember, I was using the name Yorokobi for like everything, like my Neopets account, my DS account, like everything that was my gamer tag, was Yorokobi. And it was because when I was younger, like grade 3 or some shit, like I hung out with like a lot of the Japanese kids, and my government name is Joy. And like I said, like I don't use it. But they always called me Yorokobi because that's what joy means. Like it's a word. Do you know what I mean? It's not really like a name.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I've actually been learning Japanese, and I like whenever I first heard Yorokobi, I was like, what, this motherfucker's name that shit. I was like, oh.
Nah, because when I was thinking of like a name, I was like, well, I'm very obviously influenced by Japanese media. And like one of my favorite styles of tattooing is Japanese traditional. Like if anyone messages me being like, hey, you want to do this? Abso-fucking-lutely. I don't care the content matter. I want to tattoo Japanese traditional. That shit bumps. But I was like, you know what? It's obviously very Japanese inspired. Yorokobi, it just makes sense. I've been using it for years. I just like went with that. People shorten it to Yoro. That's cool. I use Jovi because like I am not Japanese in any way, so like part of me is like cultural appropriation if I hear someone call me. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, man, you do it. Like, I ain't Japanese. But anyways, so back in 2018, one day I was just like, I don't think I can do vet shit anymore. It's a weird industry. So I thought I would try tattooing. I won't really get into my apprenticeship or the time at that shop. Way she goes. I will say that man taught me a lot. He taught me how to maintain relationships. He taught me how to maintain clients by doing the opposite of what he does. So shout out to him, although I will not be shouting out that shop. So I would say 2021 and that was the year that I left that shop. That was the year that shit clicked because I had spent so much time at that shop as his manager. I ended up hiring a really solid team of artists, and we ended up like learning a lot from each other, and it was really great. But leaving a shop environment kind of intimidated me because all of a sudden I didn't really have colleagues to bounce off of. And it kind of makes you feel stagnant, like, you don't have that critique that you really do need in this kind of industry. Like, there's no such thing in my eyes as peaking. Like, you always need to be learning things. And to feel that, like, you don't need to be doing that, I think you're shit. So 2021 was kind of a little bit daunting. I went to my first convention without the shop. And that was at Gatineau 2021. And, like, I'm not gonna lie, I'm not going to get into exactly why I was a ball of anxiety, but there were a lot of outside sources that made me feel physically unsafe. So it was a rough go, that convention. However, the Saturday of that event, the wife of a client I was tattooing decided to wander that event, and I had tattooed her the Friday before. And she had decided to sign up a piece that we had worked on in the large color competition of the event, which I believe is arguably one of the bigger things to compete in. You have contests like best of day, best of event, best of large realism, best of color. Like, those are kind of like the heavier hitting. In my opinion, I might be wrong, but she'd entered in that, and I didn't know that she'd entered in that. So I had headphones on, and when I was tattooing her husband, which I would like to note was a Goro Majima tattoo. I don't even remember what I charged him for that. I was just stoked to do it. Like, I think it might have been like $100. But I'm tattooing him, and my booth mate, Tyler Latham, also, shout out to Tyler Latham, fantastic guy, Black Coffee Tattoos, big support. That guy especially was very supportive in my initial leaving of my first shop. So big shout out to that guy. But anyways, man's tapping me on my shoulder and he's like, dude, you just won. I was like, the fuck did I win? I didn't enter anything. I don't have anything to enter. And the guy who's like doing the MC work, his name's Ben, also a great guy. He's like shouting, he's like, hey, Yorokobi, where's Yorokobi? And I'm like, oh God, what's happening? And I go up and my client, who has a Hatsune Miku tattoo, all right?
Yep.
And I was like, what the fuck is happening? Because as far as I kind of felt that, at the time at least, there was a lot of American trad tattooers and a lot of American trad judges. So to see Hatsune Miku not only placed, but got first place in this, I was like, what the fuck? And so they're like, come on stage. And I'm like, oh, okay. So I'm like, I'm on stage, I'm taking the award. I'm like, thanking everyone, blah, blah, blah. And then like, that was kind of like, it like clicked. I was like, holy fuck, like I can actually do this shit on my own. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I don't mean on my own as in like, I don't need colleagues. I don't need fucking like support or critique. I meant that like, I don't want to get into it because it'll just start them up again. But it just, it felt great knowing that I could stand on my two legs, because when I was in the midst of leaving, there was so much talk of like, you'll never make it, you need me, you're not gonna have any connections in this industry, like all this like degrading shit. So for me to like leave that environment and within the first month land like an award, and like following that award came, invitations to tattoo shops as like a guest artist. And eventually I was recognized by a lot of people that I really looked up to. I was recognized by, there's a company that I've already named before, Icon. They selected me to be one of their artists for the month. So I had a little showcase there. I'm now sponsored. I've got more than like, God, I'm not gonna count how many awards that I've won, but like, it's just such a change of pace from what I was doing the first couple years of my career to what I've been able to do on my own without like being under the thumb of just a scuzzy person. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it was just like, it was nice to go from kind of an immediate fearful environment, like exiting the shop. It was just like, there's just this area of unknown, to immediately being like, holy fuck, I can do this. Like, I'm being recognized, I'm being supported by like so many outside people, and this is something that I was able to achieve not on my own, because the support group that I have been fantastic. And obviously you need support to keep yourself going. But, like, you know what I mean? Just, like,
Yeah.
it's been dope that way. So, I don't remember your original question. Oh, you wanted my lore. That's my lore. That's my lore.
The Yorokobi.
That's awesome.
What am I even saying?
But yeah,
I love the Yorokobi. Holy shit.
it's not, like, overly unique. You know, a lot of people do
No.
end up leaving their first shop. And I would argue for a lot of people it's a lot more peaceful. But it is nice that, like, I've been able to kind of be like, hey, let me just draw my silly little guy. That's the other thing. It's just, it's very funny to me that, like, through all this, I've had a hater, and their blood boils, and I'm just sitting here fascinated by oyagis and putting bright colors in people's skin and getting trinkets. Like, I probably am the least intimidating and just full of brain rot, and I'm just doing my fucking thing, and I'm stoked to be doing it. I'm stoked. Everyone, I appreciate everyone for supporting me and letting me draw my little guys, you know?
Love you, little guys. I'll always get you little guys forever.
We love the guys that you've given us.
I'm pretty stoked.
And thank you also for coming here and talking about your little guys. I feel like you being here as our special guest is also a testament to like how much you've done for yourself.
Oh, I really appreciate that.
We don't invite just anyone to come and talk to us. Like we all really look up to you. Like you are a name that like when you come up, like
don't perceive me.
You said earlier that you consider us friends. That's completely mutual, but also like. No, you're perceived,
I
guys. Look at me. I got 3 eyes. I'm triple perceiving.
It's so hard. Like, this is like another thing too. Is like my husband and I are complete fucking idiots. Like we'll go grocery shopping and like I'm throwing shit from like a full 20 feet away from the grocery cart. Like into baskets, and we're just being. I mean, okay, maybe that's not as like, oh, that's so goofy. Anyways, we're doing dumb shit like the entire time. We're doing dumb bits. We're always laughing really hard because we're making these dumb bits. And like, I probably every time I go out, people will come up to me and they go, oh hey, you're that anime artist, blah blah blah. And I go, thank you. I really appreciate you saying hi to me, blah blah blah. But then I always think about the percentage of people that see me during like the brain rot and like the stupid shit, and I'm like, fuck, I'm being perceived and I'm not making a great first impression. So it's a rough one when people are
No,
like,
I think you're making the fucking best first impression.
Yeah, I don't know.
I think if my first impression of you was like, wait, oh my god, is that really cool artist? And then I saw you chucking like a tuna steak across the grocery store, I'd be like, holy fuck, I need a tattoo now.
Yeah, dude.
I can't shut it off, honestly. And it's like, you know what? Maybe I do attract a certain type of clientele, and they're always my favorite, so I won't complain.
It's not a good sign when like a good majority of TCR are your clients who are aspiring clients. It's a bad sign. It means you attract the brain rot.
No, it's good. Yeah. I love the brain rot. I love hearing about people's specific like niche. Like I was saying, I didn't get the savant like autism. I got like the very niche specific like shouldn't focus on these things autism. So like I like hearing like other people's.
Just you fucking wait until I get you to do my bug snacks tattoo. That's like how.
I can't wait. How? I absolutely cannot wait.
Bug snacks, bunker.
Bug snacks. I'll let you choose every bug.
Man,
you can get it.
Just like a bunch of those rubber ducky isopods.
Oh,
those are cool guys.
He's gonna get a rubber ducky.
Yeah,
that's on their bug list. Yeah,
that's where I got it from. Like I love potato bugs as a whole, but when I saw potato bugs could have like little yellow guys, little yellow bills, I was like, what?
I love it.
Well, you got anything else for me?
I guess. Sorry.
Let me check difficulties.
Sorry.
I have a dog.
Forgot who you were. My bad. Forgot who you were.
My dog's dope. That's it. I got a dog.
I think that's a
no,
boo. To end on.
Yeah, Nobu's good.
Nobu the dog.
You come get tattooed, you meet Nobu. Really, that's what you're paying for.
You're paying for the dog. The tattoo is complimentary.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
I don't got any more questions, so.
I got a story.
Oh.
It's not like very good, but it's definitely like, I don't know, whenever I tell it, people are like, oh, what the fuck? But like.
Tell me now.
So, the perks of working in a street shop is people just walk in. Any kind of person, really. And there was one time I was tattooing, I must have been about 3 hours in on like what obviously looked like a full day, at least to an experienced eye, that like there was no chance I was going to be done anytime soon. And these two ladies came in, and I managed that shop while I worked there, so we didn't have a front desk person. It was up to me to kind of talk to the clients and get them booked and situated and blah 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 blah. And these ladies came in, and I couldn't hear what they were shouting about, so I was like, just come back to my booth. I'll talk to you while I'm tattooing. What would you like? And they're talking about all these ideas, like baby birth dates and all this shit. And, I was pretty new into tattooing, so I was kind of like, I'll take whatever, but, nail down an idea. And after about 10 minutes of talking and vague price quotes and kind of nailing down, like, when we'd like to book, the one goes, well, what if I don't like the tattoo feeling? And the other one goes, well, what do you mean? And she's like, well, what if it's like too painful and I have to stop? Like, will I have to pay? Like, what's the situation there? And I was like, oh, that's actually a pretty smart question. Let me answer it. And her friend answers for her and goes, well, why don't we just try it now? And if you don't like it, we don't have to come back. And I was like, what do you mean by try right now? And she grabs her friend's arm and pulls her friend's arm into my booth. So she's not like, I can't reach her, but she's motioning into my booth, like, here's my friend's arm. And I'm like, I don't understand. She's like, can you just do like a little test? And her friend's like, yeah. Can you do like a little test? Like maybe like a little heart or something. And if I don't like the pain, we won't come back. And I'm like, I don't understand. Do you want me to use this needle that I'm using on my client to put it on? Because I don't have the time nor the resources to, break all this down, set up a new station, and try it on your friend for free, break down the station, and then set up another station to continue tattooing my client. And the girl was like, yeah, like, no, there's no point in doing all that. Just use what you're using right now. And I was like, dog, that's not how any of this works. Like, I'd be putting my client at risk. I'd be putting you at risk. I don't think you have the baseline intelligence to get a tattoo. I'm worried, like, that shit's gonna get infected. Like, where's your head at?
I was just asking you to use the same needle you're using on another homie.
Just take a second of my time. And that was the other thing. After I said absolutely not, the fact that you don't understand the issue with the cross-contamination is a red flag. But I was like, no, I won't be doing that. She was, like, upset. She was like, it'll only take 2 seconds. I don't understand what the issue is. It'll only take 2 seconds. And I'm like, baby girl, I am not going to argue with this. Like, this is a biohazard. This is an issue. Like, please leave my shop. Like, well, it wasn't my shop. But yeah, like, I was like, oh. So when they left, I was like, I think I dodged a bullet. But I was like, I don't know. I don't know why she thought that was okay.
Dude.
Yeah, the reaction that you said I'd have is the reaction I had to that.
Yeah.
Oh.
And they were older. Like, they probably had kids. Like, they were probably in their, like, 40s or 50s. I was like, how'd you get this far?
Crazy.
Did you drive here? Like, do I have to call somebody to pick you up?
Dude, that's fucking insane. I love that.
Well, I think that's like the perfect little anecdote to end on.
I'm glad, because I had a tangent on what makes a good tattoo, and I'm glad we didn't get to it, because that's for next time, episode 2.
Yeah, next time, episode 2.
Hey, if you were proposing a tattoo talk to electric boogaloo.
Ooh.
Say that 5 times fast. We'll never say no to have you back on. Thank you again for being here, Jovi.
No, of course. This was dope, yo.
Treat.
Yeah.
Shout outs to everyone here who is yapping. Thanks to everyone who's listening. And that's what we're gonna call it off for there. Thanks so much for tuning in, and we will see you the next time that we go on air.
Oh, that's cute. I like that.